When my phone rang that afternoon, I nearly let it go unanswered. I was hauling grocery bags from the car as my sister's name lit up the display. She almost never called unless she needed a favor. I picked up and put it on speaker while I propped the bags against the front door. "Hello," I said over my shoulder. My grandmother sat silently on the porch swing, savoring the breeze. She had stopped by for tea after a medical appointment. She smiled at the sound of my sister's voice. Then my sister laughed. "We left Grandma sitting on your porch," she announced. "She's your responsibility from now on." Someone beside her chuckled. It had to be my brother-in-law. They were at the airport. Boarding calls echoed in the background. I said nothing. "Neither did Grandma," my sister kept talking. "We've done our share. You always pretend you're the dependable one anyway." Another laugh followed. "Best of luck." The line went dead. For several moments, neither of us stirred. Grandma turned her gaze toward the garden rather than toward me. Her expression did not crumple into tears. She never asked why her own relatives would talk that way. She simply clasped her hands in her lap. "I guess," she murmured, "they forgot I could hear every word." That single sentence stung more sharply than anything my sister had uttered. I offered an apology even though I had not been the one who left her behind. She reached into her purse with calm hands and drew out a small leather checkbook. "Would you take me to my estate attorney?" I looked at her in surprise. "Today, before their plane touches down." No anger colored her tone, only resolve. The drive across town felt oddly calm. Traffic signals shifted, pedestrians crossed with coffee cups in hand. Ordinary life went on as if nothing significant had occurred. Grandma watched the buildings slide past. After a few minutes, she spoke again. "You know," she said, "most people picture betrayal starting with one big dramatic scene." A faint smile touched her lips. "It nearly always starts with small conveniences." She described appointments no one cared to join her for, holiday invitations that grew briefer every year, family conversations that somehow took place without her knowledge. Not open cruelty, just a slow sliding away. I kept telling myself everyone was simply occupied. She continued. "Perhaps they were." She gazed out the window. But in time, being occupied turns into a pattern. The attorney greeted her by name. He had known my grandparents for many years. Once we were seated in his office, his manner grew formal. "I take it this appointment is rather sudden." "It is not," Grandma replied. "I have reached a decision." He did not hurry her. Instead, he asked measured questions. Was she acting of her own free will? Did she grasp the legal results? Did she want to proceed? She answered each one distinctly. Then she recounted the telephone call, not with drama, simply as a statement of fact. The attorney listened without cutting in. When she finished, he gave a single nod. "I understand." Papers were carried into the room. Every paragraph was examined line by line. Nothing moved swiftly. Nothing unfolded with emotion. Everything remained professional. Watching her sign each sheet felt strangely strong, not because someone was about to lose anything, but because she was demonstrating that she still held what everyone else had quietly assumed was gone. Her own voice, her own judgment, her own authority. Before we left, she asked for one more thing. "I want the copies delivered only after everything is finished." "They will be," the attorney assured her. 2 days later, my sister telephoned. This time there was no laughter. Confusion filled her voice. "We received a notice from Grandma's lawyer." I stayed silent. "What did you say to her?" "I told her nothing." "Then why would she?" Her words faded. For the first time, she seemed to realize that life had kept moving after the airport. "Can we stop by?" she asked. "If Grandma agrees." She did, not because she wanted a quarrel. Because unfinished talks tend to hang in the air. When the others arrived, the house felt unusually still. Grandma welcomed them in. Tea was poured, no one drank it. My sister looked worn out. "I never meant." Grandma lifted a hand gently. "I know exactly what you meant." Quiet settled across the room. "You were not joking," Grandma went on. "You spoke openly because you thought I could not hear. No one disagreed, because no one could." My brother-in-law kept his eyes on the floor. My sister finally whispered, "I'm sorry." Grandma nodded. "I accept that you are sorry." Another pause followed. But apologies mend feelings more quickly than they restore trust. Sadness colored her tone, not bitterness, only honesty. "I visited my attorney because I understood something important." She folded her hands again. "If others start deciding my life without asking me, then I must make certain my own choices stay protected." No threats, no raised voices, only a clear explanation. Months went by, the legal papers were completed, some duties shifted, others stayed unchanged. Grandma still came to family birthdays when she wished. She still sent cards for every grandchild's birthday. She never spoke harshly about anyone, yet something had shifted. People checked with her before arranging anything that involved her. They listened instead of presuming, not because they feared losing an inheritance, because one quiet afternoon had shown everyone that dignity does not fade with age, neither does legal independence. One evening we sat together on the same porch where it had all begun. The sun sank behind the trees. Grandma smiled. I used to believe keeping the peace meant accepting whatever others decided. She looked toward the fading light. I have learned that peace also means refusing to give up your own voice. Neither of us spoke after that. The evening required no further words. Some victories are not parties. They are simply the moment when an overlooked person remembers that respect is not a gift others bestow. It is something they can still quietly claim for themselves.